Wanna run from my given disaster, speed away from the holy mind, pride. I swear I never thought it would matter if I'm gone by now. All my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road to end. Lost my head, don't feel my spark between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. In the heat from my hot California, I forgot how you look like in rain. I swear I never thought it would matter if I'm gone by now. All my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, you got me good. I keep on driving till it bends, still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road to end. Lost my head, don't feel my spark between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. All the memories just lingers on repeat like it is never gonna stop. I can't help myself from feeling all alone, but you got me good, oh, you got me good.
Good morning and welcome to today's show. So in today's show, I'm going through, I'm going through ActiveCampaign lists. Now, how many lists should you be using? How many are you using at this moment in time? This is what I'm going to be discussing in today's show. Hi, my name is Jason Kruger and I help heart-centered businesses build and automate their online marketing systems. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be going through ActiveCampaign lists and looking to see how many lists you should actually be using in your account. So at the moment, how many lists are you using in your ActiveCampaign account? Please let me know in the comments below. As I'd like to see how people are using lists in their accounts at the moment. And if you're new, please like and share this video, and let me know if you are new in the comments below by just typing new, as I always like to see new people watching the videos. And if you do find the content in this video useful, please just give it a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. So, ActiveCampaign lists. How many should you use? ActiveCampaign allows you to create as many lists as you like, but it doesn't mean that you should just go on and create as many lists as you like. One, it can be quite confusing in the long run when you have multiple lists to know actually what are people interested in, where should they actually be. You know, if they're in multiple lists, how do you send your emails out to them? Now, there's a lot of different advice out there regarding lists and how many you should be using. Some people say use one, which, you know, is great. You can just use one, but then you need to use tags to make sure that you are doing your fine segmentation as well. You can use three. Some people say, you know, use one for prospects, clients, and maybe workshops, you know, so that you know which lists that they're on. Now, the thing with lists is they are the broadest way of segmenting your list in ActiveCampaign. Now, as an example, let's say you're a greengrocer and you sell apples and oranges. Well, you're not going to be sending out an email to everyone on your list when you know that there are some people that like apples and there are some people that like oranges and they don't like to mix. So you don't want to just send out a blanket email to everyone because one, the people on the oranges list or people that are interested in oranges won't read the emails about apples and vice versa. So you need to make sure that you are sending out the right emails to the right people. So for example, you could have a list for apples and a list for oranges, but it doesn't just stop there, because when you're looking to create your list, yes, you've got those two kind of main parts already segmented, but then within that, you can then start using tags to do the fine segmentation. So for example, you have red apples, green apples, sour, sweet, mixture of the two. You can use tags to tag the people that like the red apples, like green apples. The same with oranges, big, small, medium, you know, whatever. You can use tags to fine segment those people so that when you are sending out your emails and you know that your offer is going to only be for people that like green apples, you can go and select those people and send that email to them because you know you're going to get a great response to that email because that's what people are interested in. What, you know, the mistakes that people make is they just send out that blanket email and that causes issues. It causes issues because if you're just sending out that blanket email, your open rates won't be very high because there's going to be a large proportion of those people that are not going to be interested in that email. So segmentation is something that you really do need to consider. And you can do that with lists, but be careful on how many you create. Sometimes you can't help it because if you're using external integrations, external software, like a landing page software, for instance, sometimes the way that they connect is through lists, and they don't allow you to add tags to that as well. So the problem you'll have there is you don't just want to have that one list because you're going to add people into that list, but you won't know how to fire off the automation. And that's where you might need to create a list specifically for that ebook or whatever you're using that list for. So when you're looking at it, that's some things that you just can't help, and you will need to have multiple lists. But then have a look to see how can you funnel those people into a main list. So you do have a main list when it comes to sending out your emails, etc. So if you did like this tip, please leave a comment down below. If you've got any more information to add about it, again, please leave a comment below, as I would like to read them and maybe go into this deeper. Excuse me, I seem to have a frog stuck in my throat today. But yeah, if it is something that you like, please leave a like on this video. Now, when it comes to creating lists, sometimes it is best to just take a step back and actually plan out what it is that you're going to be using your lists for. Sometimes it's not a case of just jumping in and just start creating lists. I've seen clients do that in the past, and the issue you're going to have there is 6 months down the line, you might look back and you've got 30 lists in your account, and probably 20 of them you're not even using. And then it becomes hard to manage. You don't know, what these lists are for, or if you're still using them. And then the issue then becomes when you're looking to maybe start, to clean up and delete these lists. There is something you need to be wary of. If you delete a list and that a contact within that list is not in any other list, they will be deleted out of your account as well. So it can become an unwieldy mess if you do not plan how you're going to use lists right from the beginning. And that is something that I do suggest you do. You do want to make sure that you're using lists in the right way. So you might end up maybe using 3, 4, 5 lists. That's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, there is no right or wrong way to use lists on ActiveCampaign. It's all dependent on how you want to use the system, how you want to segment your list. As I said, there might be things that are out of your control with integrations with external bits of software like landing pages, membership sites, all that type of stuff. Sometimes, you can't help it and you will have to create a specific list to integrate with them. But then if that's the case, have a look to see how you can funnel those people into your master list, once they've gone through that process. Because at the end of the day, using a master list is definitely going to help you manage all your contacts, and you'll be able to see, everyone that's engaged with your company. Now, again, if that's a tip that you like, please leave a like on the video or leave a comment below. But the issue you're going to have with having multiple lists is unsubscribes. And this is not something that people are fully aware of when they're creating all their lists. Because if you're using a specific list to email people and they unsubscribe from that list, they're not actually unsubscribed from your whole account. They only unsubscribed from that list. Now you might think, well, that's not going to be an issue. The issue comes when, if they've unsubscribed from your ebook list, for instance, but then you go and you send them an email from your master list, that person might think, well, I've already unsubscribed from this person. Why are they still sending me emails? So what they do is, instead of just unsubscribing, they then mark you as spam. Now, if you get too many of these, ActiveCampaign can suspend your account and start investigating why this is happening. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not just going to be something with ActiveCampaign. This will happen no matter what system you use. If you get a lot of spam complaints, they will look at your account. So don't just think it's something that ActiveCampaign just do. All the other systems out there do exactly the same thing. Because at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is they're protecting their own systems. Because it's not just you using their systems to send out emails. They've got thousands of clients. And if you start sending out spam email, then it affects the IP addresses that their servers are using to send out your emails. What happens? They get blacklisted. It doesn't just affect you then, it affects all the customers that use those servers to send out their emails. So that is why ActiveCampaign, and again, every other system out there, protect their software and how you send emails. And that's why sometimes importing lists, if you've bought a list of that, is not the best way to go, because these systems don't like it. as much as you say, oh yes, the legislation and all that is on my side, that's fine. But these systems are not built to do that. They are built to create lists kind of the old-fashioned way. Sign up to receive my ebook, my white report, my video training series, whatever it is. That's the way that they would prefer you to build your lists. So going back to, using lists, be very careful on how you use them, because if someone does unsubscribe from one list and you then use another list to email them, they might think, well, something's gone wrong here, and they will unsubscribe and mark you as spam. So bear that in mind when you're looking to see how you're going to be using lists and how you're going to be using those lists to send out emails to your your customers and your clients, people on your list. Because if they unsubscribe from one list, it does not mean they unsubscribed from every other list. It's only the list that is being used to send that initial email. So I hope you enjoyed that tip. It's something that is very important, and you do need to make sure that when you are planning out your ActiveCampaign account and how you're going to be using it, you do need to look at how you're going to be using lists. And if you've got anything more to add to this point, please leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to add this into any further videos that I do on this topic. But also, if you've got any questions, please leave them down below as well, and I will make sure that I answer them for you. So kind of in summary, when you're using lists in ActiveCampaign, my advice would be to kind of plan it out. You don't have to plan it out fully, because things are going to change, and you're going to have to change sometimes how you're using ActiveCampaign and lists. But having that initial kind of foundation on how you propose to use it will help you to understand how to connect everything together. So make sure that you plan it out so that you're not just creating lists for creating lists' sake. Use lists as your broad segmentation, and then use tags as your fine segmentation, so you can then fine-tune what those people might be interested in. And lastly, make sure that you are aware of how to use lists when sending out your emails, because if they unsubscribe from one list, it doesn't mean that they're going to be unsubscribed from the others. So please be aware of that. That is a very important tip there, and something that could cause you pain further down the line if you're not aware of it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you need more help with ActiveCampaign, you're just starting out, and you want to look at some of the best practices and that on how to use lists and tags, etc. I do have my own workshop. It's called ActiveCampaign Without Trauma, and you can go to jasonkruger.com/ACWT to find out more. Now, I go through the best practices on how to use lists, tags, what an autoresponder like ActiveCampaign actually is and how it works. And I also have kind of tech walkthroughs of all the features within ActiveCampaign. Now, bear in mind, this is for the light version of ActiveCampaign, because that is going to be the one that most people are going to be using. So I go through contacts, lists, tags, how to create automations, how to send your emails out. All of that is covered in those videos. But I also have some Q&As that I did with a few of the members. That's all there as well, so there's extra content there. And you also have access to a free group where you can still post questions on there, where the community and myself can answer those for you. So if you do have any further help, then I can go in there and make sure that you do get that. So if that does interest you, then go to jasonkruger.com/ACWT to find out more. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tip on ActiveCampaign and how to use lists. And if it is something that that you've enjoyed, please give this video a like. And if you are on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the notification bell as well, so that you get notified when I next go live or when I next post videos. And if you're on Facebook, do head over to my YouTube channel as well, as I do have a lot of other videos on ActiveCampaign and other online marketing tech there as well. So if there is something that you're struggling with, then go there and have a look to see what I have there. And as the weeks go by, I will be earning more videos on there on the different techs. And if there isn't anything there, just let me know and I will make sure that I do a video on it for you as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I'll see you on the next one.